Diddy has recently been hospitalized following an injury he sustained while in prison. Reports suggest he was rushed to the hospital in the middle of the night for an emergency. However, just a few days ago, a leaked audio clip surfaced that seemed to hint Diddy was planning an escape. Now with this new hospital incident, some are questioning whether it was truly a medical emergency or if there's more to this situation than what's being shared.
Sean Diddy Combs reportedly underwent treatment in a hospital as he continues to await trial on sex trafficking charges. According to Page 6, the 55-year-old was transported from Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, the federal prison where he was sent following his September arrest, late January 30th to undergo an MRI and was then soon returned to police custody later that night. The outlet cites a source as saying that the medical scan was authorized because his knee was bothering him. E! News has reached out to reps for Diddy and the Federal Bureau of Prisons for comment and has not heard back. The Grammy winner's attorney, Mark Agnafilo, tells TMZ, quote, "I cannot comment on anything related to prisoner movements. Also, I'm not commenting on anything related to possible medical issues." Diddy had shared in a since-deleted Instagram post in 2017 that he had undergone his third knee surgery in a year. The Federal Bureau of Prisons has neither confirmed nor denied the reports about Diddy's hospital visit. A spokesperson for the government agency tells the New York Post, quote, "For privacy, safety, and security reasons, we do not comment on the conditions of confinement for anyone in our custody to include medical status or medical trips." The hospital visit allegedly took place hours after federal prosecutors filed a new criminal indictment against the rap mogul, accusing him of coercing 2 additional women into commercial sex acts. No additional charges are included in the new filing, as the original September indictment had referenced 1 female victim. His lawyer has accused the prosecutors of making a major error in the new indictment. In a statement to E! News January 30th, he says, quote, "The prosecution's theory remains flawed." The government has added the ridiculous theory that 2 of Mr. Combs' former girlfriends were not girlfriends at all, but were prostitutes. Diddy has denied all of the charges against him, and his trial is set to begin May 5th.
Dr. Dwayne Hendricks, the deputy warden at the Metropolitan Detention Center, has spoken out about the situation. With decades of experience, he says he's never seen an inmate treated like this before. Even high-profile inmates like Jeffrey Epstein were held at the MDC, but they didn't receive this level of special treatment. Normally, medical procedures are carried out during the day for security reasons, but in Diddy's case, everything was done in the middle of the night.
Filed on January 30th. Coincidentally, according to the New York Post, that's the same day P. Diddy was taken to a Brooklyn hospital from MDC. MDC is the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. It's where Diddy's been held since his arrest back in September. His team has tried multiple times for bail, but it's always been denied. So that's where Diddy has been for months now, but last week he was taken to the hospital. According to reports from the New York Post, Diddy was transported from MDC in the cover of darkness at about 10 p.m. on January 30th. He was taken to a Brooklyn hospital for an MRI after reporting issues with his knee. This actually isn't the first time we've heard about Diddy's knee either. He's apparently had problems with it since 2003 when he ran the New York Marathon. He even had multiple knee surgeries back in 2017. In a now deleted Instagram post, Diddy shared this photo and wrote, quote, "Just had my final knee surgery. They said I'd never run again. I said the devil is a liar, 2 exclamation points. 3 surgeries in 1 year. 3rd time's a charm, 3 exclamation points. Hashtag rebirth. Don't take the simple things in life for granted. Thank you to all the surgeons and docs and PTs. I thank God for y'all. And hashtag team love, hashtag thank you, hashtag God is the greatest." He also wrote, quote, "God puts us all through things for a reason. It's up to us to learn through the things that he puts us through. Sometimes you have to go through the pain to get to the joy. This journey has brought me closer to God, closer to my family, and most importantly, closer to myself, as this has been God's will." So apparently Diddy's knee has been bothering him recently, so he reported it. At some point, it was decided that he needed medical care outside of the jail, so he was taken to a Brooklyn hospital. He was only gone for a couple of hours and came straight back to MDC after his MRI was finished. Diddy's attorney Mark Agnafilo told TMZ, quote, "I cannot comment on anything related to prisoner movements. Also, I'm not commenting on anything related to possible medical issues." A statement from the Federal Bureau of Prisons was released too. It says, quote, "For privacy, safety, and security reasons, we do not comment on the conditions of confinement for anyone in our custody to include medical status or medical trips."
The timing of everything is raising a lot of questions. Just weeks ago, Diddy was recorded telling someone he had a final ace he was planning to use to get out of prison, right after his bail was denied. Following that, he began complaining about medical issues, first by refusing to eat and then citing mental health struggles and depression. Now, people are wondering, was all of this just a strategy to get him out of jail?
This particular process was a little bit different because, as you know, most doctors' offices and most folks that do MRIs and x-rays and things of that nature, they're on a normal work schedule, between, the normal business hours of maybe 10 o'clock and maybe 6 p.m. So in that case, this was a little bit different, getting him outside the facility in the late evening hours to do just, possibly a basic MRI.
Yeah, I was thinking about the timeline too, because I don't ever recall going to the doctor at 10 p.m. at night. As you said, it's usually 9 to 5, 10 to 6 kind of vibes. But for P. Diddy, I can kind of understand why it was at 10 p.m. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm thinking they decided to do this because he's such a high-profile name that they wouldn't want to draw attention to it. I mean, this is an unassuming Thursday night around 10 p.m. Could that be why they decided then to go to the hospital?
Yes, and also, for a couple of reasons, staff, many correctional agencies are short-staffed. So you're taking someone out with this high-profile person such as P. Diddy. Just the nature of who he is going to cause a serious security concern, because you're going to need to be able to stave off, onlookers, fans, media, and the like. And then you also got to think about the security of the hospital and their operations. People are there to try to get better. You have families there to visit their loved ones. And the last thing you need is somewhat, a chaotic environment that's causing concern with security. And also, most people don't know this, but he's actually under the primary custody. He's a what we call a U.S. Marshals inmate, because he's on pretrial status. So the Bureau, the agency, the Bureau of Prisons, oversees, the operations with overseeing the inmates on a day-to-day basis. However, when they're in the hospital for an extended period of time, if there's no deal worked out between the local institution and the local marshal's office, it would be the marshal's responsibility to take custody of that particular inmate. And and if he does have issues with his legs, is he walking with a limp? Does he have does he have a cane or anything like that? So yeah, I think that would be the reason why that they would make this, take this measure, which I have never seen in my career. Someone taken out to the hospital at this time of night for something as basic as an MRI.
Diddy has strong connections with some of the most influential politicians in the country. Just weeks before his arrest, he was even given the key to New York City by the mayor. Despite being aware of the ongoing investigation into Diddy, the mayor still handed over the key, likely because Diddy had significant influence over him. It seems this whole situation might be part of a much bigger conspiracy than most people realize.
Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Diddy, PD, Love, the defendant, and others, known and unknown, were members and associates of a criminal organization, the Combs Enterprise, or the Enterprise. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other activities, sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotics offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. This new indictment also ups the number of victims. At first, only one victim was listed in the indictment, which some believe is Diddy's ex-girlfriend and the first person to file civil suit against him, Cassandra Ventura. An updated portion of the superseding indictment reads, quote, Combs and other members and associates of the Combs Enterprise wielded the power and prestige of Combs's role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Combs's orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Combs then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims, including but not limited to 3 female victims, victim 1, victim 2, and victim 3, to engage in commercial sex acts.
Judge Aaron Superin has stated that Diddy poses a risk to witnesses and should not be released. His bail has been denied multiple times, and it seems Diddy may have realized that the only way to get out is by faking a medical condition. If he undergoes a procedure or surgery, he could be transferred to a treatment facility for recovery.
Do the I told you to do, and don't forget about the list. Make sure that shit is fucking signed. Alright. Good. So tell me, what's been going on? How the girls doing? How's Quincy doing? They good. Quincy, he been filming a lot. Hey, yo, don't tell me that he's out here filming for that vlog show, what the fuck is called? Yeah, I guess so. He do got us in it too. Yo, y'all motherfuckers stupid? Y'all understand the definition of lay low? This nigga got a fucking TV show while I'm dealing with this shit. Y'all need to just stay out the fucking press. No cameras, no nothing. Don't entertain nothing. Don't take pictures. Don't sign autographs. Just stay in the fucking house. Not me though, Pop. I do be in the crib. Everybody else just be on different shit. Don't nobody want to listen to what I gotta say. But it's all good. I got motherfuckers cutting deals left and right trying to take me down. Nah, Pop. Everything gonna be alright. We gonna get you out. Oh, I know. Cause I got one more trick up my sleeve. And this one is gonna put everybody back in their seat. I can't wait to see the look on everybody's faces when this shit happens. What you mean though, Pop? Don't even worry about it. Just do me a favor and vote for Harris. Alright? And don't be surprised when all my so-called friends do exactly that. Alright, now, did you complete everything that's on the letter? Yeah, I got the pig pen, Pop. I did it. Are you stupid? I gotta go. I'll call you back.
Next Vice, Next Voice. While all of this is unfolding, a new superseding indictment has been filed against Diddy. This updated indictment adds 2 new victims and extends the original charges by 4 more years. It claims that Diddy hired prostitutes to live with him and transported them across state lines for the purpose of trafficking.
The prosecutor presented that the judge was going to allow him to be bonded out on the first get-go. Now, if he comes up with some more hearings, he might be released. But based on the evidence, they've been following him, bro. They've been tapping his phone, been having people watch him. You understand? He been coming back and forth from New York, and he don't usually be coming back to New York. And somebody was telling me that, yo, listen here, yo, he trying to get witnesses. Remember when they released that first thing of Cassie, and I said that Diddy was trying to contact people for character witnesses, people for who he had problems with before, whatever like that, and trying to talk to them in the whole 9 yards. That's when they dropped that thing with Cassie. The Homeland Security had some agency or whatever like that that deals with that, dropped that thing on Cassie to show everybody, oh, y'all want to help him? Y'all, this is what y'all want to help? This is who y'all want to, say that he ain't never did nothing. This is what you want to put your brand on? And everybody started backing up from him. Everybody was talking about, yo, man, Cassie was a gold digger. Cassie was this, that, and the third. She loved it in the whole 9 yards. And then when they seen that, all his friends or so-called friends, went away. So him not having a bond is not surprising.
Yeah, and he offered them $50 million, and they still denied his bond.
He should have waited to see what they was gonna offer. Because if he got $50 million to get him and offer that, then they think like, yo, that's too little of a money.
The details of the new indictment are shocking. According to court documents, Diddy allegedly subjected his victims to threats of harm, financial damage, and verbal abuse on multiple occasions. The charges describe incidents where he threw objects and people and physically pushed, dragged, and caused injuries to others. One account even claims Diddy harmed a victim over a dispute involving an apartment.
Details this morning in the sex trafficking case against Sean Diddy Combs. Prosecutors now claiming that from behind bars, Combs has been trying to reach out to victims and possible witnesses. And ABC's Phil Lipoff is here now with this story. Good morning, Phil.
Good morning, Gio. Diddy's lawyers trying for a third time to get him out on bail, but this time, the prosecution telling the judge about attempts they say the rap mogul made from behind bars to influence everyone from potential jury to alleged victims. This morning, prosecutors leveling new accusations against Sean Diddy Combs, saying he poses a serious risk of danger even from behind bars as he awaits trial. In a court filing late Friday, prosecutors detailing the steps they say Combs is taking while locked up to reach out to prospective witnesses and influence public opinion to affect potential jurors.
The accusations within the prosecution's motion to deny bail are very serious and will be considered very heavily by the judge, because the judge is going to want to ensure that he is not influencing witnesses and or contacting anyone to influence a trial in any way.
Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges of racketeering, transportation to engage in prostitution, and sex trafficking. He denies any wrongdoing. The government now asking a judge not to grant Combs' third request for bail, in which the music mogul offers a $50 million bail package citing new evidence and changed circumstances. Prosecutors pointing to recorded phone calls from jail. They say Combs asked family members to reach out to potential victims and witnesses, urging them to create narratives to influence a jury pool. Allegations that could land Combs in even more trouble.
Diddy's jail calls can be used at trial if they are able to support the prosecution's case in chief. They can also provide grounds for additional criminal charges to be filed against him.
All of this while a Hulu documentary is set to be released Monday.
His name is Shine. Kid is nice.
Called The Honorable Shine, about a young rapper who says he took the rap for a nightclub shooting involving Combs and then girlfriend Jennifer Lopez.
Puffy got acquitted and he got 10 years.
He was betrayed.
I was absolutely set up to be the fall guy.
Moses Shine Levy Barrow, now running for president of Belize, says he was betrayed by Combs.
Dr. Dwayne Hendricks, the deputy warden at the Metropolitan Detention Center, has spoken out about the situation. With decades of experience, he says he's never seen an inmate treated like this before. Even high-profile inmates like Jeffrey Epstein were held at the MDC, but they didn't receive this level of special treatment. Normally, medical procedures are carried out during the day for security reasons, but in Diddy's case, everything was done in the middle of the night.
Started with something that Diddy and his lawyers knew was coming down the pike eventually, and now it has happened. A new indictment, it's called a superseding indictment. It really replaces the original one that the federal prosecutors had filed against him. And the big headline here is that now they are saying there are two more victims, two more women that the feds are calling victims of Diddy and his criminal operation, as they've laid it out in this indictment. Remember, before, all they had was victim one, and we know through things that have been said in court and that are connecting victim one to the videotaped beating of Cassie. So we know that victim one is Cassie. Victims 2 and 3, who have now been added in this new document, we don't know their identities, but the feds have described them, saying that they are women that that Diddy transported for purposes of prostituting them. And they lay out some of the allegations and why they believe that these women are victims. Diddy is telling a different story, has a different view of this, but first, what they said in the indictment, we want to get to that.
Yeah, this is really a critical development because Diddy's lawyer has been harping on this case being built entirely around Cassie, who he had a relationship with, and he says the nature of that relationship may have been rocky, but it's not a crime. By adding these two additional women, the feds are sort of bolstering their case, and they're saying these women were also lured and trafficked for prostitution, and he says they were paid by being paid in career opportunities, they were paid in money, and they were paid in maybe their housing expenses and rent being paid, which Diddy is characterizing as, yeah, this is what I do for my girlfriends. So girlfriends being paid their housing expenses is not a crime either.
Yeah, so they haven't revealed their identities, but certainly when they describe it like that he's done all these things for them, paid for these things, it sounds like it will be that one or both of them might be someone that we know, that we've seen him out with, because it certainly sounds like they're very close. But we don't know yet. The official response from Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifilo, they said, the latest indictment contains no new offenses. Prosecution's theory remains flawed. The government has added the ridiculous theory that two of Mr. Combs' former girlfriends were not girlfriends at all, but were prostitutes. Mr. Combs is as committed as ever to fighting these charges and winning at trial. So there it is. His people are saying they're girlfriends, which means I do think we are going to figure out, at some point we're going to hear who they are.